It's Amy, your Gray Girlfriend, and welcome to the Gray Girlfriend's Guide to Life podcast. First, let me say that I'm so happy and grateful that you're here with me. Out of the more than 3 million podcasts available, you chose this one, so thank you. This podcast was created for high-achieving women, real women who face and conquer real challenges, real women who are ready to take their lives to the next level. Between us all, we've been through it all, and I'm here to tell you, you can thrive despite it. So whether you're commuting to or from work or doing one of the other 50,000 things you do on a weekly basis, pop in your earbuds, my friend, and let's go. This episode is part of a series entitled A Shero's Journey. Every good story has a hero, or a shero in this case, and every hero and shero faces a similar set of challenges. Every few weeks, I'm going to introduce you to an incredible woman, a real woman, just like yourself, who has overcome real challenges to create a wonderful, fulfilling life. My hope for this series is to not only empower you, but to encourage you to trust in yourself and to know that no matter what you face, you can come through it happier and bolder and brighter than you ever thought possible because you are stronger and more capable than you realize. So pop in those earbuds, my friend, and let's go. So I met this guest about a year ago. She reached out to me to learn more about RTT. And, you know, there are some people whom you meet and you immediately feel their power. You immediately feel their strength, but not in a loud way, but in a deep, quiet way. And that is her. It took me about 3 months to realize the connection between this incredible woman and her phenomenal body of work, because she doesn't boast, she doesn't brag, but instead she moves through this world with wisdom and courage and grace and strength because she is all of those things. It is my absolute honor to introduce a woman who has touched millions of lives with her message of positivity and resilience and empowerment. Kristen Butler is the CEO and founder of Power of Positivity, one of the largest inspirational communities in the world, reaching over 60 million people globally. She's not just a thought leader. She's a trailblazer in the personal growth movement, helping people transform their mindset and embrace self-love and unlock the limitless possibilities within them. Kristen is also the international best-selling author of The Comfort Zone and 3-Minute Positivity Journal, books that have empowered readers to shift from fear into courage and from self-doubt into unshakable confidence. But what makes Kristen truly remarkable is her authenticity. She's walked the path of struggle and burnout and setbacks and has turned her story into a movement of hope and transformation. So, my dear listeners, allow me to introduce to you a visionary and a powerhouse and a true light in the world, the positivity queen, Kristen Butler. Welcome, Kristen.
Thank you so much, Amy. You're amazing. That was beautiful. I appreciate you.
Oh my gosh, I appreciate you too. You know, I get emotional when I think about how far you've come in your life. I mean, you have had and you are still on this incredible journey. But, you know, your life didn't start out with best-selling books and 9 million Instagram followers, did it?
No, not at all.
So I'd love it if you share whatever you would like to share about how your journey started and what shaped you along the way.
I actually grew up in Pennsylvania in a small town, and my mom had 4 kids and she was on welfare. And so there was a lot of struggles growing up, but I didn't really identify with those struggles. I kind of walked around with rose-colored glasses. It was kind of ironic. I had these big goals and dreams in my heart, but from my circumstances, it seemed pretty unrealistic that any of that was actually going to happen. I struggled in school. I talked a lot. I had trouble reading, and I needed extra support. And so pretty early on, I started to get some very negative feedback about my existence in the world. And I started to really internalize that early on. And so thinking about that 2 decades later in my 20s, when I hit rock bottom, I was carrying the weight of my past and what people said about me instead of internalizing what I thought about myself.
Wow. So, Kristen, can you describe a moment when you first felt called to take on a major challenge or change your life in some major way?
Yeah, as I mentioned, I had so many challenges, Amy, when I was growing up, but I would say that my biggest challenge was hitting rock bottom in my 20s. Years of trauma. At that point, I was burnt out and I was just pushing myself to perform and please. And that's just when everything collapsed. So at that point, I had lost a very successful business and I went bankrupt. I was having extreme health issues. I had PCOS, and the doctors told me I was never going to have children. I
Mhm.
was, severely overweight and I was depressed, anxious. And I do remember a moment when I was laying in bed and I had been there most of the time for 2 weeks straight. I had the blinds shut, the blackout curtains over, and it was just a dark, isolated place. And I thought I was in a safe place, right? I thought, like, oh, this is going to protect me. But really, I needed light in
Mhm.
that moment. And so that's when I realized that I had to choose. I could either keep spiraling in this dark path with all this overthinking and negativity and shame and blame, or I could choose life.
Oh.
And that's when I decided to get out of bed and start moving forward again.
Oh, wow. Wow, my heart's just beating over here for you. So, who were your earliest supporters when you said to yourself, I am going to change my life? I'm going to do
Mm.
things differently?
I had a lot of supporters then. Can I start like early on? I guess when I
Yeah,
was
of course.
a
Yeah.
child, I would credit my biggest supporters of my life to my grandparents. I feel like a lot of people have special bonds with their grandparents, and I certainly did. My mother was a young mother. And so my grandma and papa took me in and showed me love and stability. I developed my faith in God. And so that was really strong for me. As I moved back with my mom and I started to go through high school and all of those experiences, I would say there were teachers that were great mentors to me that led me down my path in journalism. I had mentors in college. And then even just after rock bottom, I've had so many very supportive containers and coaches and mentors. And even you, Amy, with the RTT that we did together. I'm a huge believer in just support. And I think every phase in our life, we're going to be growing and changing and rising, and we can't do it alone. And so I guess if you're listening right now and you feel stuck, think about what kind of support you can have, because I feel like support is everything.
Oh, wow. Yeah, me too. I don't think we're meant to know it all right out of the gate. We
Mhm.
need people who know more than we know, even if it's just a few steps ahead of us to say, look, you can do this. Come on, come on.
Mhm. Yeah,
So, when you decided you were going to change your life, what major obstacles did you face right from the get or right from the outset?
that's a really good question. I think unworthiness, Amy,
Mm,
because up until that point, I was earning love by overworking, by people pleasing, by trying to be perfect.
yeah.
And so I just thought if I did more and I achieved more and I catered more to people, that I would be loved more. And it was a turning point for me after rock bottom that I wasn't pouring into myself. And I deserved that. And I don't know why I knew why at that point I didn't believe it, but I couldn't believe that I had left myself out all that time, because to live authentically, to live a life that you actually love, you have to pour into yourself. So I think that it's been an ever going journey of loving myself and feeling enough and feeling worthy. And certainly the work that we did together with RTT, I actually came to you not realizing that I was needing to do worthiness work. But I did. And I think I'm just still always working in that area because it was such a core part of my rock bottom and my pain and trauma. Yeah, I think I've made it pretty far so far, and I'm excited where I can go from this new foundation of feeling and knowing that I'm enough and that everything else that I do is just extra. Like it's just icing on the cake or whatever you want to call it. It's just something you don't have to earn, being
Yes.
enough.
Yes, you were born that way, which
Yeah,
you've
yeah.
always been, right? And
Yes.
you will leave this earth enough, which means you will always be enough. And that is such a empowering and calming thought all at the same time, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, definitely. And I didn't think that I needed to do any more enough work. I thought I did enough affirmations and I had enough tools. But when we started working together and I realized like I was getting triggered by saying I am enough, I was like, oh, I do need to do enough work, or worthiness work.
Isn't
And
it surprising when you put those words on your bathroom mirror and the first time
yeah.
you say it, and if you don't feel joy or peace, if you feel anything other than that, it just means you didn't hear it enough and you need to
Mm,
say it more to yourself. It's
hmm
yeah, I find it everyone finds that powerful. So Kristen, when we start this journey to change our lives, many times we meet someone or we're faced with a situation that at first we think is wonderful. We think it's
mm,
positive. We think this person is a champion or this is the greatest situation that we could come upon next. But then we realize, nope, it's not what I thought it was, or he or she wasn't what I thought they were. Who was your shapeshifter?
mm. And so this is a person that made me change the course and direction of my future.
No, this is the person you meet after you're on this path to change and
Mm,
to grow and to evolve. And you meet this person, or maybe it's a situation that you think is a wonderful situation, only to realize, wait, this isn't wonderful. I just thought it was wonderful.
mm. I feel like there could be many people like that in my life because I've definitely had to rid a lot of negativity because I just think that's part of growth is realizing that you might love someone, but they are draining your energy. I would say a catalyst for me when I was at rock bottom, because if I wouldn't have made this decision, who knows where I would be. I had a really close friend, and I've never shared this actually, but it just came to mind. I had a really close friend that I knew from, wow, since we were, I think, in third grade. And we were very close. And I thought it was a positive relationship. She was very supportive. But at my rock bottom, I started to reflect and realize that she was actually in competition with me to where it was always like, let's one up each other. Or if you like that, let me, do it better than you. And what I realized was that I was always feeling less than because she was always better at something than I was. And because we were always trying to do the same thing. Anyway, all to say, I realized that the relationship had actually brought a lot of chaos.
Mm,
And it's hard to cut people that you feel like are family or you've been so close to. It's almost like you feel like you owe them. At least that's how I felt. But letting go of that relationship where I was literally connecting with her every day was very powerful for me because it broke that attachment of and that weird cycle that was happening that was keeping me really in bondage to an old part of myself and to negative parts of myself and shameful feelings, I guess I would say. Yeah. And so letting go of relationships, I think, is important for all of us to do.
yeah. And it sounds as though that was very transformational, like for meaning you would never do that again. The next time you find yourself in a situation that has that same feeling or makes you feel
Mm.
drained or makes you feel unheard or unseen, I'm guessing you wouldn't stay there too long anymore, would you?
I think that support is everything, and people can fake support for a long time. But there's signs, right? To like realize, like, wow, I don't actually think they're supportive. And so when you start to notice like those jealousy or negative comments thrown at you on a consistent basis and realize they're not really there for me, you've got to let go because it does hold you back for sure.
Yeah. So proud of you. So, Kristen, you mentioned that along the way you hired coaches, went to therapy. What else did you do? Did you journal? Tell us about those tools that you use to discover your strengths along the way.
Mm. Wow, there's probably dozens and dozens of tools because I'm one of those people, as I had mentioned, I went through so much. And so, because of that, I was always seeking the next thing that could help me. And so, I'll just kind of highlight maybe some of the most profound things that have helped me through the
Okay.
year, through the decades. Oh my gosh. Yeah. So, that helped me kind of expand. Like I like to think of it as these tools have helped me tap into who I truly am and expand my comfort zone instead of, diminishing it. So I would say journaling definitely, because I think foremost, introspection is everything, especially if you want to live a life that's true to you. You have to understand what that even looks like, and only you know. So that's very powerful. I would recommend that to everyone. For me personally, I relied a lot on prayer when I didn't have finances to invest in therapy or coaches, personal development books. But as I started to have the opportunity to invest in coaching, I definitely really recommend RTT for sure. And what you do, Amy, because for me, I felt like I had so much progress from all the things that have helped me, but there was still that resistance inside that I just thought maybe was normal and just everybody had to, like I said, even just feeling enough. I just thought, well, this is just that darkness that always tries to creep in, right? And this is just something you live with. But when we did the work together, I literally started to show up differently. For example, friends would tell me, "What are you doing, Kristen? Like, you're more confident." And I was like, huh? Oh, because I'm always doing something. Everybody always knows I'm into something. And it's usually like a fitness program or a new book or I have a new coach or something. And this time it was different though. And it was pretty quick actually as well. And so I started telling people about, well, I'm doing RTT around being enough. And I think people were really surprised because as much as I had achieved and accomplished and as positive as I am, why would I be doing work around my worthiness? But I think there's just always layers and layers that you can work on. Yeah, the work that we did, I would say, was very powerful. I started showing up more confident on videos like this, podcasts like this, media interviews. I was showing up just feeling like myself, feeling confident to say what I wanted to say without worrying about what people would think. And I just think that's a very powerful place to be. And there's so much freedom in that too, you know?
Yes. When you walk into a room, people feel your power, right?
Yes, you say that. Yes. And
Yeah.
it's so true.
Yeah. And those who are emotionally healthy and like-minded feel your power and the rest
Yes.
just fade away. It's
Yes.
remarkable
That's
how
what
that works.
that's what
Yeah,
you say.
that's what I say. So, how have you brought the lessons or the changes from your journey into your everyday life and community?
Well, I'll say three things, I think. One, for me, of course, my community is power of positivity. And I just feel like choosing light in darkness really does change everything. And that's just such a core part of my journey and just my entire community. It's just helped so many people. And I feel so blessed. So I would say that to me, believing in that foremost and then applying it to your life is so transformative. Also, from my journey, I realized that my comfort zone wasn't my enemy and it wasn't a trap as long as I was growing it because I was always resisting it and fearing it. And when I actually, and you know what they say is what you resist persists, right?
Mm.
And so by resisting it, it was actually keeping me from experiencing comfort and joy and happiness. And so when I developed a really positive relationship with it and then learned how to expand it and realizing that it can be as big as I want it to be, that was super powerful for me because I really haven't experienced the burnout that I used to experience before when I was always thinking about getting out of my comfort zone. And so that was super powerful for me. Also just my faith I think is definitely core.
Okay. You offer coaching programs too, right?
Yes, I do coaching now. Yes. And I've
Yeah.
had courses and things as well too.
Are you comfortable sharing that? Because I just realized that. Did you offer coaching programs?
I love writing books and I love building and scaling businesses. I'm such an entrepreneur at heart. I've been since I was like, oh my gosh, a kid at the playground. I was trying to sell my bracelets. I love business. And so many people have come to me asking me how I did it, how I grew my social media, how I wrote my books, how I scale my business. And so I decided, wow, I want to help other women create impact and influence. And so I coach privately women who want to take their life to the next level, personally or professionally.
How did they reach you?
To connect, positivekristen.com. That's my website. Thank
Okay,
you.
positive. Yeah, absolutely. And I'll put all this in the show notes, of course. But one last question, Kristen.
Mhm.
What advice would you give to anyone who is standing at the precipice, wanting to change their life and feeling that fear? What would you say to them?
I would say believe that you can do it and find a way because there's always a way. And our minds like to tell us that there's not. We don't always know the timing of when something's going to happen. But as long as we trust and keep moving forward, it's going to happen. I think when we don't believe it anymore, that's when we've lost hope. And that's usually when you see someone not go where they're intending to be. At least I know I've seen that in my community, because they just don't believe that it's possible. But as long as you have that belief, it's going to happen. It's just a matter of time.
Yeah. Take the step, the bridge will appear, right?
Yes, I love that.
Yeah. As one of my friends says, click your heels and move forward.
Oh,
I
I
think
love that. That's like so like glamorous feeling almost,
isn't it?
right?
I think it's from some movie, like all I can think of is Wicked, but that was
Mm.
Wicked's the movie
Oh, The
now.
Wizard of Oz?
Wizard of Oz. Doesn't she click her
Yeah.
heels?
Yes, she
Yeah, I
does.
think she clicks
Hmm.
her heels. Anyway, gosh, Kristen, it has been such an honor to have you here. I can't tell you how incredible you are, how far you've come. And I've said this to you before. Look how far you came before you fully embrace the fact that you are enough.
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. And I
You make
just
me
can't.
cry.
Oh, hey, I get emotional just thinking about your journey, right? And I'm emotional now. I just can't wait to see how far you're going to go now that you fully know deep in your soul that you are
Hmm.
enough.
Yes, yes.
Yes.
Hmm.
So
Thank you.
thank you, Kristen. I appreciate your time.
Yeah, I appreciate you too. Thank you.
Hey. Hey, it's Amy. Did you know that what we tell ourselves about ourselves impacts every decision we make? Every decision. So if you're feeling stuck in any aspect of your life, RTT can help. Want to know more? Go to amyblairlawson.com or click on the calendar link in the show notes to schedule your complimentary 30-minute consultation. Oh, one last thing. I can't forget the legal stuff. You know what I'm talking about. The language a lawyers write that I have to read to you. Well, here it goes. This podcast is for educational and entertainment purposes only. While I am a rapid transformational therapy practitioner, a certified divorce financial analyst, and a licensed investment advisor, this podcast is not intended as a substitute for a private session or a consultation. Got it? All right. Until next time, wishing you peace and plenty of all good things.